Jeff, how's the health of your O-line as this week goes on?
Yeah, obviously we're missing Mackay and Meach for the year. There's nothing we
Right.
can do about that. But the rest of them they're not 100%, but I would imagine we are where everybody else is this time of year, beat up, trying to get through practice, but we're out there and available to play.
Yeah, what's the outlook for T. Haynes and Finley this week?
It'll be a game time decision again. We'd like to get them totally well, but we'll just have to see.
If those guys are almost ready to go, how do you weigh the value of potentially rotating them in versus the continuity you had last week with those 5 who were able to go the whole game?
Oh, just if somebody else was to get injured, or maybe we weren't having as much success as we did last week.
You guys are back in the dome this week for the first time in several weeks. How good is that going to feel?
Yeah, we like coming home. We enjoy the Alamo Dome, obviously. Our crowd is a tremendous motivator for us. Our marketing team has done a really good job. Like the last couple of times we've been there, give us some extra help just to get the crowd going and excitement. The band is huge for us. All that matters. It all helps. And every time there's a penalty for illegal procedure on Louisiana Tech's offense, that's for our fans. That's our fans. Literally, you should have like 2 stats. Like you should have like Louisiana Tech penalties. You should have UTSA penalties, and then Alamo Dome fans penalties created. And they should take great joy in that. So I'm gonna grade them. We'll see how they're graded Saturday.
Jeff, did some troops come and talk to the team this
Yeah.
week? What was their message, and how did the kids receive that?
It was awesome just to remind them about how those men serve us and how selfless they are and how selfless we should all be in return. We did it on the day we voted, just to make sure our kids understand you don't get to vote unless we hadn't won those wars. And there are a lot of countries that don't get to vote. And we reminded them how we do our leadership council, how we do our single digits, and we vote. And those leadership councils are representatives for their room. No different than the way America's set up. And yeah, it was a really good deal. We've gone over something every day. Today, I believe the Marines celebrated their 247th year. So anyway, that's what was on Twitter, and that's what we taught today. I hope I was teaching the truth.
Jeff, you mentioned on the radio last night wanting to touch up some things with the pass defense. What are kind of the focus areas that you're looking at in that regard?
Just our technique, we've got a little much right now, in my opinion, and we just got to be better. It happens to all of us. And give a bye week, and at 9 games of the year, we've all done a lot of stuff, and we got to get back to technique. Trust your fundamentals and just be better. And we had put together about 4 good games in a row. And we had great moments in the game. There were about 12 plays that just crushed us. Those 12 plays count. And we learned a lesson. We didn't learn the hard lesson. The hard lesson would have been getting back on there playing with an L on your head. We learned a lesson. And we'll get better. Our kids are awesome kids. They don't mess up on purpose, and they mess up probably because their head coach didn't do a very good job coaching them.
Those guys with the long-term injuries, whether it's Mackay or Rashad or now JT, kind of what role do they take around the building or in practice? Kind of what happens with them going forward?
It just depends on where their health is. Like Rashad is just now getting back around from his surgery, but he's still in the leadership council meetings. Mackay is coming along more. His was more of a sprain, so it wasn't a major surgery. So it just depends on, Brandon was a major surgery. He's getting back around the mix now. Obviously, JT will be out for a while. His surgery was just yesterday. So it just kind of depends. They all have a plan with Nick Turner about their rehab. And they have a plan with their position coaches, and they have a plan with their academics, they have a plan with strength staff, that we're all keeping them tremendously involved. Because I've been injured before, and you feel like you're not part of the team anymore if we don't keep those guys around and involved. So we try to keep them basically all assistant coaches and give them a job title and a job description. And like when JT's back up and running, Tyke's going to be he's going to coach Tyke, and Mackay's taking a tremendous investment in Ernesto right now, just small things like that.
When we talked to Josh Cephas yesterday, he mentioned that it's one thing he wants to do is kind of step up his energy to make up for JT's energy. Do you see any kind of a different approach with him?
He always does. I don't know how he could be any better. He's an assistant coach on the field. I'm so proud of him, man. He has really turned into an unbelievable leader.
We don't always talk about Brandon Brown, kind of an unsung sort of position there, but what's jumped out about his season? Anything you've noticed with him so far?
He's just Brandon. He just shows up every day, doesn't care if he's ever noticed. Head down, works his tail off every day. Really good football player too. Another great human. It makes my locker room a really great locker room to be in.
Unless I'm mistaken, Tremaine Bell didn't play last week either. Can you update us on his status at all?
Yeah, he had a funeral he needed to attend for his family, and we honored his wishes.
I think we're gonna talk to Payne here. What stands out about what he's done since he's been here? I know he hasn't been real healthy, but
To me, it looks like, I don't know, you have to ask Payne, but it just seems like the joy of football is kind of back in his heart again. He just looks joyful. He was joyful when he got here. He was just a really good kid. And I think that's what hurt him so bad. He was so excited about getting out there. I think he really likes our guys. I think he likes being here. Again, you'd have to ask him. I haven't really personally asked him that, but he just seems like it. He's always got a smile on his face. Really good kid. He's a deep kid. He's intelligent. He got a degree from Northwestern. Mine's from Stephen F. Austin State. Nothing against SFA. I'm about to get mad at me in Nacogdoches, but I doubt it's to the level of Payne's degree.
Jeff, you guys are playing Louisiana Tech, and the first year you played them, it was kind of a measuring stick, and last year you guys talked about how significant it was to go in there and get a win. It's the last time you're going to face them with the conference move. Is there anything kind of strange or different about that?
Let's be honest, they kicked the heck out of us that first year, and we just pulled a rabbit out of the hat to get out of that one. Last year, they really got after us for a while. Day made a heck of a pick six that kind of turned that game around, and we were in a dogfight over there as well. They've got great athletes. They're proud. They'll get after us. We'll get their best shot Saturday. So they're really good on offense, and they've got a lot of talent on defense. And Smoke's as good a punt returner is in the country, and they turn people over. I mean, it's just their record's very misleading because the competition they've played, and they've lost some heartbreaking losses, like double overtime 1 point, overtime 1 point, Clemson, Missouri. Just we're spoiled here in San Antonio. It's hard to win a college football game. It's hard to win one. They're just not that much difference. And out of 131 teams, there's not much difference in about 120 of us. I mean, I know you could start counting the bottom and that kind of stuff, but there's about 10 to 15 teams in the country that are just significantly different than the rest of them. The rest of us are all right in there together.
Jeff, wanted to ask you probably don't know, but it just got announced that Barry got a contract extension at Illinois, gave him a raise and an extra year. What's your reaction to that? I know you watched some of his games.
No one deserves it more than Barry Lundy Jr. He's an unbelievable person, and I said it before, I believe in people that bet on themselves, and he probably took a $250,000 pay cut to come here. I mean, as a position coach in Arkansas, you probably get $400 to $500, and we might have paid him $210 or $250, and he took that pay cut to bet on himself. So, Barry, that $250 you gave away that 1 year, you're making it back now, my brother.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
See y'all.